Welcome back from spring break. I'm really excited to see you all on Wednesday. We asked the high school what they really want you to get better at before you go into high school next year, and that is integers and equations. So we're going to go back to things that we've already taught before, but are still not where they need to be. So this might be really easy for some of you. It might be a really good review for others. So today we're just going to fluently add, subtract, multiply, and divide integers. So this should be some good review. So in my opinion, multiplying and dividing integers is easiest, so that's what I'm going to start with. When we're multiplying and dividing, we always can think of Mr. Multiplication if we need it. So you remember, you just cover up the two signs, and that leaves you with what the sign would be at the end. All right, so if I start with negative 7 times 4, right, I would cover up on Mr. Multiplication a negative and a positive, and that leaves me with a negative. So my answer will be negative, and 7 times 4 is 28, so negative 28. Okay, the same goes for B, 66 divided by negative 11. Covering up a negative and positive, my answer will be negative, and 66 divided by 11 is 6. All right, when I have a negative times a negative, all right, I'm going to cover up the negatives, and my answer is going to be positive. So I will get positive, and then 9 times 10 is 90. Okay, and then lastly, negative 196 divided by 14. Again, I'm covering up a negative and a positive, so I know my answer is going to be negative. And 196 divided by 14 is 14. It's a perfect square. All right, so that's how you multiply and divide integers. That's the easy one. Okay, I don't really have much concern with you doing that as long as you are careful and remembering Mr. Multiplication. Okay, next we're going to get into adding. And remember, you should be taking notes. So, when we are adding and we have the same sign, we add and keep the sign. Okay? So, the first one, 54 plus 30. There's no negatives there. That's what you're used to doing. That's what you've done since 3rd grade, 2nd grade. I don't really know when you start adding. But those have the same sign. They're positive. So, we add them and we keep the positive. So, 54 plus 30 is 84. So we're adding and we're keeping the positive because we're keeping the sign. Okay, same here. We're adding negative 99 plus negative 45. So same sign, negative and negative. We add them and we keep the sign. So we're going to add 99 plus 45. And I am terrible at adding in my head. So 154, and we're going to keep the negative. Okay? If you write down same sign, add and keep the sign, then it will be very helpful for you on the review, the worksheet. All right, and we have different signs. Okay? We just subtract and keep sign of bigger number. So if I'm looking at letter C, the first thing I'm going to ask myself is which is the bigger number. And so 62 is the bigger number, so I know my answer is going to be negative. Okay? And then because we have different signs, we're going to subtract. So we're going to take 62 minus 43. Okay? So borrow here. So 12 minus 3 is 9. 5 minus 4 is 1. So negative 62 plus 43 is negative 19. Okay, and then if I look at the last one, the bigger number is positive, so my answer will be positive. And again, I'm going to subtract 102 minus 34. And that's going to give me 68. And it's positive because 102 is bigger, and we subtracted because they're different signs. Okay, subtracting integers. we add the opposite, or as you know it, keep, change, change. So if I'm looking at this first one here, and then once we do that, we go back to addition rules. So I'm going to add the opposite. So I'm going to keep the first one, change subtraction to addition, change the positive 80 to a negative 80. Okay, so now we have same signs, and when we have same signs, we add them and keep the sign. So the sign's negative, so my answer will be negative, and I'm going to add them and get 152. Okay, added, keep the sign. Okay, if we try another one, we're going to add the opposite. So keep the first, change to addition, change to positive. So then we have 43 plus 50. So we're just going to add, same sign, add and keep the sign. And I get 93. Okay, and then lastly, same thing. We add the opposite, so we keep the first one, change to addition, change to addition. Now we have different signs. So we're going to subtract and keep the sign of the bigger number. Well, if I look at these are both the same number. So when I subtract 82 minus 82, I just get 0. And I can't have a negative 0, so it's just 0. Okay, so combining multiple operations is where it gets a little bit more tricky. Whoops. We're going to follow order of operations. So first, we're going to look at the first one, A. We start with parentheses. So these are my parentheses. Okay, so we're starting with parentheses. These are my parentheses. So I'm going to do that first. I'm going to write everything else down. Negative 32 plus 16 divided by, then negative 2 minus 2. I'm going to put it off to the side. We do what we just did, add the opposite. So keep the 2, add a negative 2. Okay, and then when I have same signs, I add and keep the sign. So this would be negative 4 times 5 plus 10. All right, we don't have any exponents. Parentheses are gone, exponents are gone. Now we multiply or divide first. And we do that from left to right. So I see that there's a division here first. So negative 32 plus 16 divided by negative 4 is negative 4, because of Mr. Multiple Division, times 5 plus 10. Okay, then I'm going to multiply. Negative 32 plus negative 4 times 5 is negative 20 plus 10. So multiplication and division are gone. Then I'm going to add and subtract from left to right. Well, luckily this is all adding. So I'm going to start with the first here. So same sign, add and keep the sign. So 32 plus 20 is negative 52, because I'm keeping the sign. Different signs, I subtract and keep the sign of the larger number. So negative 52 is larger, so my answer will be negative. And if I take 52 minus 10, because I got to take the bigger number minus the smaller number, I get 42. So my answer is negative 42. All right, we're going to try one more together. Okay. All right, so same thing. We start with parentheses. So here are my parentheses. 3 times negative 2. I rewrite everything else. 54 over 6. I don't count these as parentheses. These are just in parentheses because they're negative numbers. There's no like 2 terms or 2 numbers inside. Plus negative 13 minus negative 12 divided by, and then 3 times negative 2. Okay, positive and a negative gives a negative, so that would be negative 6. All right, parentheses are gone. There are no exponents. So next we're going to go to multiplication division from left to right. There's 2. So here's a division, and we're going to do that first. So 54 divided by 6, they're both positive. That's really easy, is 9 plus negative 13 minus negative 12 divided by negative 6. Okay. Next, we're going to divide. So negative 12 divided by negative 6 is positive 2. So 9 plus negative 13 minus 2. Okay. Then we're going to add and subtract. So we're going to add next. And that means different signs, we're going to subtract the two numbers. So that would give me 4, and it's negative because the 13 is bigger, minus 2. Then lastly, we're going to subtract these, which means we're going to add the opposite. So keep the negative 4, make this into a plus, make this into a negative 2. Then they're the same sign because they're both negative, so my answer is going to be negative, and I'm going to add 4 plus 2, which is 6. So my answer is negative 6. All right, go complete the assignment. If you have any questions, please ask for help, and I hope you have a good day.